Hey everyone. So we're back for our second episode. It's been a while just with Christmas and New Year's and all of that, but we're right back in it. One weird thing I noticed when booting this up is that it seems like all of the little character sprites right here, it looks like everyone is naked, but no, don't worry, we're not running some sort of nudist fort where everyone's naked. Everyone's got clothes. It's a display thing. I've checked online. It looks like it happens. It's happening for a lot of other people, but I guess we'll just ignore it, like a lot of other things. Just ignore it, and then eventually it'll go away. So right now, just to sort of give a quick recap, we have our fun complex carved out. We have our fancy bedrooms. We have our dorm. We have our state-of-the-art storage area. We have an adequate office. We have an industrial complex. We have this big rectangle that I decided to carve out and then realized that it's stupid, but I had to keep doing it because otherwise it would just bother me to no end. And one thing I want to do is I do want to continue to dig down, not just to the cavern layer, but I want to keep digging, hopefully find gold. The only issue is that it looks like we are beset on all sides by water, and what I'm going to be doing in the background of this episode is I'm going to try to keep digging down until we get to some sort of better layer than this, because this is a huge pain to keep shoring up every time you dig down instead of just the regular process of just digging down. And also, one other thing I noticed when I first booted up and started looking around is that it looks like I goofed, and instead of building a floor, I built a wall. So all of our dwarves no longer have access to this well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to undo all this mess, and hopefully this will get sorted out soon. The goal I have for the episode is I want to find gold, or at least get some other metals going instead of just regular old dolomite. I mean, dolomite's nice and all, but it's not exactly luxury. Like if you go to like some sort of, I don't know, store where they sell luxury goods, you don't think, boy, I can't wait to buy a whole bunch of dolomite. Also, one thing we've got to do is we've got to attend to the fun complex. So I've got to undo a little bit of a mess I made where I put all these down before smoothing and engraving can take place, which is my fault. So I'm going to go fix some of my mistakes and make some improvements, and I'll get back to you guys once I have any sort of development. Hey everyone, so I know I said that I would come back once we have a development. One thing I want to do, since it's a big pain to keep bringing stones here, and as anyone who's done this before knows, the biggest part of this kind of issue is that you need to get materials down here fast, and instead of just hauling big dolomite slabs from farther up, what I want to do is I want to build this stone cutters area, and I'm going to build a bunch of dolomite blocks, and I'm going to have them just be ready-made here, just so it's much closer to our main carving area, just so the dwarves will carve everything and store everything here. And then once we get all that done, we'll finally be able to get all this figured out. Alright, it's not really a major event, but one thing I'm seeing here is it looks like we may lose our well, which is unfortunate, but luckily we do have this safety hatch here, so hopefully we won't lose everything. Also, it doesn't look like we attracted any migrants this year. It's unfortunate. More hands would help with everything, but such is the way of Dwarf Fortress. Alright, quick update everyone. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to carve out and smooth out just the area that all of these altars are going to go. And I figure it'll be easier to get everything prepared for where the altars are going to be, so you don't have to keep moving things back and forth. But once we do that, this should be a lot smoother. This temple area, I feel really confident about it. It looks really great. Eventually, I do want to smooth out this entire area, but I'm going to try to learn my lessons from previous follies, and instead of doing something that's cool where I get to make a big rectangle, I'm going to show a little bit of restraint and growth, and I'm going to meter things out a little bit. I'm going to make it easier on myself. I'm going to plan things out a little bit. I'm going to avoid big rectangles for as long as we can. Eventually, though, I am going to need to do all of this, but with the project of digging down and other things we're trying to do, I'm going to try not to bite off more than I can chew this time. Don't worry, there'll be other times where I completely do way too much at one time and everything goes to hell and we're all going to have a big laugh about it. But today, I'm going to be a big boy and prioritize. All right, and now that that speech is over, it looks like we've finally got all of the spaces where I'm going to put these altars carved out and engraved. I feel a little bad because these dwarves had to do all these intricate engravings for essentially something that's going to be covered up by a big altar, but at the end, I think the dwarves are really going to appreciate the fact that there's something underneath there, and maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll be able to do something where they'll pour some oils or unguents or some other holy liquid, and they'll get to see it, and they'll get to see it go through all the little nooks and crannies under it. It's going to be great. It's going to be cool. Lovely temple is on the way up. Also, maybe one day I'll finally get matching table sets instead of just random dolomite thrones and other things, but that's something for down the line. That's when we actually have a little bit more money. All right, everyone, and with that, we finally got that taken care of. Now, we're going to indulge in a few rectangles, not big rectangles, but There are going to be some cool rectangles, but since I do have most of my fortress set up as a smoother, this will all go really quick. And the plan right now, according to my napkin math, is I'm going to get the temple set up so everyone has a better mood, because I mean we're doing okay mood-wise, but it could be better. I think that once we get these temples built and dedicated, we're going to go a long way into improving the quality of life here in the fortress. And then after that, we can start Project Dig Deep. I don't have a better name, but I feel really confident about our dwarves and our ability to dig deep. Alright, so I finally decided that it's time that we get some half decent cuisine going in this fort. Because of that, I'm having our farmer, our founding farmer, I'm going to have them cook as well because it seems food related enough. So I took them off some of their other labors just so they have the opportunity to make food and grow food and help with the stills and whatever else. So hopefully this improves the culinary experience, because I have noticed that the doors are just eating just sort of random stuff from the fridge, and I don't know, I'm not going to begrudge a dwarf for eating handfuls of cheese. God knows I do that all the time, but why not have a nice meal once in a while? All right, and we have officially completely flooded our well. So good news, the well is full. It's also frozen over, so it can't overflow anymore. So one thing I am going to do while we do have a little bit of downtime is I'm going to have a floodgate created. Dolomite, of course. Just because I figure it's time that we start the process of getting some floodgates made. Alright, so it looks like we finally have enough dolomite blocks made. And let me just check to see. Alright, so it looks like we're done engraving and smoothing out, just because I didn't want to run out of dwarf power while we're digging deep. So let's go in and let's engage in some exciting drilling. Guys, hold up. I've just dug down and it looks like it's no longer damp. You know what? That is on me for saying it like that, because honestly, that's how you curse yourself right there. That's honestly my bad, guys. My bad. Okay, so I know I just said that I jinxed myself, but I don't know. I'm feeling good. Maybe we're just getting past. Oh, maybe we just need to get past the water. Maybe we're done, everyone. Maybe we're done with water. And let's. I'm not going to build a big rectangle. However, I am going to build a few exploratory shafts in each of the cardinal directions. Guys, this is big. I don't know why I'm getting excited, because we're just getting claystone, but you know what claystone isn't? Claystone isn't water. Alright. I'm feeling cocky. I'm going to break my own rule, but let's Let's mine a big rectangle. A big, beautiful, beautiful rectangle that people will talk about for thousands of years. They'll talk about the lovely temple elevation -25 rectangle. It's gonna be the stuff of bar legends, the world throughout. And while we're toiling down there, we are going to set up these temples. So I want to try to set up at least one for every deity. So there's Umar, a blight, disease, lust. Okay, we're gonna skip Umar because if a dwarf worships Umar, I'm sorry, not sorry, but we're not having the god of just having private time in the corner with a dirty old sock. We're not keeping that in Lovely Temple. I'm sorry, it's called Lovely Temple, not Stinky Temple. So Zulf. All right. Imekth. All right, food, agriculture, fertility, the rain, storms. Yep, all good. So I didn't intend for this to happen, but I guess we are going to be gatekeeping some of the gods. So God of boundaries. All right, it's always good to have good boundaries, either borders or personal. Okay, I'm not letting the murder god in. All right, Kesting. All right, yep. Kesting, come on in. All right, the strong. I mean, mountains, volcanoes, fire, the sun, nature. Yeah, dog. Death, lightning, thunder. I mean, honestly, that just sounds like a metal cover. I think I'd like to listen to whatever music Shein worshippers make. All right, Deg, wealth and trade. Hell yeah, Deg. That's, you know what? Just because of our whole mission statement, which is to get rich, Deg, you get 2 little temples, and actually, hopefully down the line, we get to, I don't know, maybe we'll make Deg's temple the big temple. Same with Knowlton charcoal powder. You know, you can have two temples as well. So we do have these 3 other temples. I'm not doing the naughty gods. They can get right out of this temple. But right now, let's check on that big, beautiful rectangle. Let's see. Oh yes, would you look at that, everyone? Have you ever seen a more beautiful, time-wasting, infuriating rectangle? And it's so beautiful. I love it. If I had the time and the dwarves, I would smooth this all out, but I just can't. But no water. Right, and let's do this just because it is bothering me that we have all these wood tables and chairs, especially since we are dwarves. We should have good, proper stone tables and chairs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to commission new tables and chairs just so we have a proper set of all Dolomite tables and chairs. It's all going to match. It's all going to look great. None of this hodgepodge, random wooden furniture. I mean, honestly, that's something an elf would do, but we're proper dwarves. We're going to do this a proper dwarven way. All right, and with all of that, we should have enough tables and chairs once that's made. Again, until we have that, I'm not going to go in. I'm not going to mess up our big, beautiful dining area until we have everything set up. But once we have everything, it's going to look beautiful. Oh, look at that. Actually, there's some gems right here. Our gem cutter does need some gems. Also, I just want to apologize to everyone for my voice. On top of being busy with Christmas and New Year's and all that, I also got sick once by a cold and then once by... The best I can describe it is the mother of all flus. There's a couple days where I was driving around heater full blast, wearing a hoodie. Just crazy dreams about me having to fight past lives in the spectral plane, but we're out of that now, but my throat's still not very happy, so I do apologize for the rough condition of my voice. That aside, I want to see if we can get to the cavern layers, because it seems like once we get there, there should be gold and at the very least lots of gems. And while that's happening, I do also want to set up this area. I know we were talking about utilizing some of this space, and while I don't think this whole area is going to be able to be a viable tomb, I do think a good chunk of it will be a tomb. But also, I do love seeing all these dwarves come together to get all this work done. It does my heart good. That does look nice, but also I do want our dwarves to really have a very nice final resting place. I think I'm also going to place some statues, but I do think the dwarves will appreciate that when they finally do fall in the service of Lovely Temple. They're going to be somewhere nice, somewhere peaceful, somewhere surrounded by fine art, especially fine art that the whole community came together to make. Like this beautiful image of gems and jewels, or a skink man, more gems, fancy shapes that I'm not going to try to pronounce, and an image of a ritual. That actually sounds kind of badass. And speaking of statues, I do also think that it's time to start spreading a few statues around, so and we're going to add some more statues, because as everyone knows, whenever, and at least for me also, whenever I'm eating, I just love it when I'm just surrounded by statues on all sides. It makes me feel like a very, very, very fancy person. Also, I do realize that all these statues are going to add a very cramped quality, but it's also, I feel like it's going to make a very imposing, sort of divine motif for these little temples here. Just sort of a quick come in, say your prayers, do what you want to do, be awed by the beautiful art. Like this well-crafted dolomite statue of a dwarf. This is an image of a dwarf. Yep, come look at a statue of a dwarf. Really was looking for something a little fancier there, dwarves. Since we do have some iron bars, unfortunately with the new siege update, this is a Age of War, so I think we're gonna need to start making some iron weapons. 10 spears, and that'll basically get rid of all of our iron. So for now, we're just doing the best we can. At the very, if something, God's forbid, if something happens, we'll at least have a sharp piece of metal in our hands. But for now, that's the best we can do. We're just gonna have to use the stratagem of hit him with the pointy end first, and hope that takes care of the problem, and so that way we don't have to use too many of our new fancy dolomite coffins. Speaking of that, let's zhuzh up our beautiful, beautiful burial ground. See, this is going to be a fine place to hang out for forever. Right. So the plan for now is that we're gonna dig 10 Z levels down at a time. So that way we're still digging deep, but we're not going crazy. And then every 10 levels we're gonna do this little cross section just to see what we have going on. Hopefully we break into the cavern sooner rather than later. Also, while we're waiting for riches to come in, I want to try a little vanity project. I want to try to dolomite up this area. And this way we'll also be able to use all the dolomite that's just laying around our fortress. But besides using up spare dolomite, it'll be good to add some polish to our entryway so we can make a good first impression with visitors and traders, instead of just showing them a dirty hole in the ground when they arrive. So I do think... Ooh, man. Well, again, at least the well's full. At least the well is full. Yeah, so I feel like come wintertime, we're going to need to put a block or something. For now, it is what it is. Right, so for our front door, we're going to make an iron door. Again, if a major invasion happens to show up, I don't think we're going to be able to do too much. Oh wait, really quick. Looks like some migrants arrived. So like I was saying, if a major force of darkness shows up, there's not a ton we're going to be able to do. With our dinky little door, but it's something. It'll give us time to huddle and formulate a plan, maybe make a couple traps or whatever. But it's also gonna look really cool, and at the end of the day, isn't that what really matters? The fact that our shit looks really cool. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's take a quick look at our migrants and see who we have. Alright, so first things first, we're going to look at people who don't have any skills set up. So we don't really have a need for an animal caretaker, but we do always need orderlies, haulers and engravers, and smoothers. And instead of boring you, I'm just going to come back when I'm done assigning their tasks. Alright everyone, so I'm done with assigning everyone's labor. No one really stood out as having any super cool skills. There was an accomplished brewer, so I took our doctor off brewing duty. I guess they can go back to being a doctor whenever we get around to building a hospital. And then for everyone else, I just made them just a orderly and a stone carver and engraver, and I feel like what I'm also going to do is once we have things set up a little bit, those without any specific things to do, they'll be able to join the army. But right now, let's focus on getting our new front door installed and our foyer renovated. Alright everyone, and with that we finally have our front entrance completed. We have it surrounded with dolomite. We have an iron door, which for all the good it'll do, it looks cool. I like it. I really do. I feel like this is a good start to all of this, and it looks like our well is overflowing, which is good. It's always a good thing to have extra water. Hopefully soon we can fix a few things so we have a more manageable amount of water, but such is the way in Dwarf Fortress sometimes. Alright, we have more gems here. I'm going to carve out a decent amount of granite just so we can start building a few things out of granite, since I feel like granite's a little grander than just dolomite. So I notice we are getting a little low on food, so we're going to just go full locust mode and chop down all the trees near our front gates and collect all of the plants. Alright everyone, so I did a bit of a time skip until something happened, and big news, we just had our first fortress birth. It looks like Ralkik Rosmodor has just given birth to a baby girl. And it looks like Ral gave birth in our stockpile instead of a bed, but that's dwarves for you. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad omen, but it's very dwarfy. Okay, let's get a look at this little cutie. Okay, it looks like her name is Kumil. She values romance, has good analytical ability, disdains eloquence and fairness. I think we have a little scholar on our hands, but who can say? They're also not vain and prone to discord. And if I'm reading this right, it looks like they enjoy saying babama. I'm not sure what babama means. But as the father of a toddler, that does track. Like if my kid wants to watch Fraggle Rock, she yells, "Fuck." Kids really do say the darndest things. Well, welcome to the fortress, little Kumil. Here's to many happy years. Alright everyone, so it looks like we have another piece of news. Izam Imethfrazil, the founder, withdraws from society. Alright, let's take a look at what he's up to. Let's follow him for a little bit, and let's take a look at his skills to see what he's good at. Alright, he's a legendary miner. He's good at engraving. Let's follow him around and see exactly what he does, because I'm interested to see what one of our founding dwarves makes. All right, looks like he's claimed a stoneworking shop, and he has, let's see, some jet. Okay, I like jet. It's a good stone. All right, and while he's working on that, let's get to some other business in the fortress. But once, actually, let's do this. Let's set up a rock altar and see what stone should we make it from. I think granite would be a good material to make that out of. And it looks like we're making some more progress here in the Great Hall in our eating area. Everything's going to be smoothed. It's going to be great. And while we're at it, let's also just smooth this area out, just so we have a nice even dance floor. Because there's nothing worse than when you're trying to hang out with your friends and boogie around and you trip over an uneven surface. That's also an OSHA hazard. And again, I really don't want to visit from Dwarf OSHA. They'll take you to task. Man, you know what? I mean, there are some. I will admit this. There are some accessibility issues with this well, but you know, it is fully stocked with water. You can't say that it's not stocked with water. Say what you will, but it is very full of water. Also, our little front area is looking good. I am proud of that. I do want to have a few more statues, but once we have that, it's going to be good. All right, it looks like we finally have some more iron, so we're going to make a few more bits and bobs for our armor for the glory of our military when it finally takes shape. All right, everyone. So more news. A human caravan is arriving, and I know they're not dwarves, but we should still make a good first impression. And again, like before, I'm not going to subject everyone to the thrills, chills, and spills of trading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to employ some editing magic, and I'll give a rundown if we buy anything fancy. I'm thinking more just food and networking, for the lack of a better term, is what our goal for this trading is going to be. But again, we'll get right back to this once we're done here. All right, everyone. So that thrilling trade adventure is over. Basically we just traded some little crafts we made away for cheese and booze, which is really the most important thing we could have done. Yep, he's still making his craft. I'm real excited what we're gonna see from him. Oh damn, everyone. Listen, everyone shut up. We got gold, everyone. We got gold. Okay, so I know I said I wouldn't do the thing. However, there's gold in them thar hills. Let's get it, dwarves. Let's get it. We are so back. We are backer than ever. We have never been more back, everyone. We have gold. All right, just smelter. Smelter. None of this dumbass hematite or whatever. Yeah, just none of that. Gold. We're rich now. We got money. We got fame. We got power. Just keep smelting gold until you die. Oh man, guys, listen. You do not know how happy I am to see all this gold here. We got a legendary miner here. Guys, oh man. We are about to get so rich. We're gonna make coins. We're gonna make statues. So many statues. That's gonna be, oh guys, you don't even know. None of you even know. All right, I'm gonna calm down before I start scaring people. Okay, we'll do a little bit more. All right, everyone. I think this is good. So, while we're doing that, we're gonna also bump up our wood burning, because again, we're gonna need so much. It's like that scene in the Lord of the Rings where Saruman is like, oh, we need to run the forges, so just burn the forest, and and you know what, in the spirit of greed, just because we don't need it this quickly, we'll go and we'll get these gems and jewels out of the wall. Okay, all right, some migrants have arrived. All right, so that just means more hands to help dig the gold. All right, let's see here. Obak. All right, let's see. What are your skills? Novice, Trapper, and Dyer. Okay, cool. But you know what it sounds like you really want to do? Seems like you really want to mine some gold. A blacksmith. All right, let's see how good of a blacksmith you are. Talented blacksmith. All right, we'll get the newcomer to try their hand at blacksmithing. Let's see, a clothier. All right, that's cool. We'll have you do plant gathering, hauling, orderliness. And then let's see, a beekeeper. Man, you know what? A beekeeper sounds like they'd be good at doing. Sounds like they'd be really good at mining gold. Yeah, mining gold. Let's see, who else do we got? A cook? Actually, let's see a talented cook. All right, well, you know what else is a little bit like cooking? Mining gold. A lie maker. Well, you know what? Sounds like you can lie down in the mine all day while you're mining gold. All right. A milker. All right, general laborer. Because it doesn't sound like they'd be good at mining gold. All right, so it looks like we have everyone set to do something. And while we're doing these work orders, it looks like we may need some more picks. To, say it with me now, mine more gold. And speaking of gold, let's see. Oh, look at that. Look at that beautiful progress. And we have more people on the way. Oh, man. Look at all this gold. Gold. A petition. All right, a farmer's guild? Sure, really quick, just so I am a dwarf of my word. See, I don't know where we're going to put a guild. I mean, I guess let's do this. We're going to get this area mined out over here. And actually, we don't need to mine all this out. What we can do is we can just smooth this area out. New guild hall. Let's see. They wanted a farming. Farmer's hall. All right. Oh, looks like someone's project didn't go very well. I don't know what happened if they couldn't find something. All right, so they're stricken by melancholy. Let's see. Eat a good meal. Make merry. Okay, so emergency, everyone. We have one of our founding dwarves who's not having a good time. So we are going to make an emergency tavern. I know that's a weird thing to say, but when you're dealing with dwarves, this is a matter of life and death. Right, we can put some engravings in his quarters. Some emergency engravings. Hopefully this helps. Oops. Hopefully this helps turn him around. I mean, look at all these dwarves that are coming together to cover up his room. Let's see what some of this is. So engraved on the floor is an image of 2 rice plants. All right, that's nice. 3 boots. 3 boots. 3 long-nosed gars. Right engraved is Zas Zangtangrigim, rendition of the bust of citadels, and is an exceptionally desired image of a coin and an oak. Oh, see, that's us. The coin is torturing the oak. The image is of the symbol. All right, it's the local, so it's very patriotic. And for right now, I don't know what we can really do to improve his mood. I mean, hopefully everyone coming in and tagging his room is going to be helpful, but it's going to be really unfortunate if we have to put him down, but if it's got to be that way, it's got to be that way. Poor Izum, he's just wandering around just being a sad, sad little dwarf. Really hope we don't have to put him down or something. That's going to be very unfortunate. Alright everyone, so I've got a funny new idea, because remember how I said that I had this emergency tavern set up? Well, I thought that was a little dumb in retrospect. I know it's for emergencies, and sometimes you just gotta throw things together to make them stick just in situations like this, but one thing I thought would be kind of funny would be if we ended up turning some of this extra space into a goth club. And it's a goth club because it's right next to our cemetery here. So that way, and also besides just being a funny idea for a dwarf goth club, it also it helps with the whole ancestor worship aspect of these dwarves. Because what's more dwarven than sharing a drink with those that have come before you? So I've already got this area smoothed out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all this engraved, and then I'm going to move the tables and chairs because we're almost done with getting all the necessary tables and chairs to replace everything with uniform Dolomite tables and chairs. And then what we can do is we can move everything that's down here to the Dwarf Goth Club. Dwarf Goth Club. Dwarf Goth Club. Man, say that 5 times fast. But once we have all that, it's going to be great. It's going to put us on the map. I'm thinking of trying out letting outsiders in. I don't know if that's going to come and bite us in the ass later, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? Alright guys, so I'm not very hopeful for Izum. He just refuses to eat or drink. I think we're going to have our first fortress death fairly soon. I don't like saying this, but realistically, he's not good. I know I was excited to see what he was going to make. I would have really loved to have this episode be the one where we have our first dwarven artifact, but it looks like this is the episode where we're going to have our first dwarven death. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, and now we'll just wait for the inevitable to happen. Also, as soon as I finished saying that we need to wait for him to die, I noticed that the work order for more coffins just completed. Sometimes the universe, and by extension Dwarf Fortress, is very ironic, but also practical. Alright everyone, so it looks like we finally have enough tables and chairs for our brand new reorganization, so that way we can get all this mismatched stuff out of here. We're going to have some very upset dwarves at first, but trust me dwarves, trust the process. It's going to be great. Remember how great it was when we went from having that random circle of chairs to this fine area. All right, everyone. Well, I wish I could say I was surprised, but it looks like Izem finally has passed. We lost our first founding dwarf, and now he shall be interred into the earth. Pour one out, and because he was a founding dwarf, I'm going to temporarily remove this zone. I'm going to give him the jet coffin. All right, and it looks like the outpost liaison is here. All right, well, I was hoping for a more positive episode, everyone, but I think what we're going to do is... Oh, there it is. He's been interred. Let's also get this rock off of his grave. So, everyone, what I want to do for the rest of this episode is I'm going to meet with the Dwarven caravan, do the trading, and I also want to finish the renovation here, and I also want to get the Goth Club up and running. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do that in the background, and if anything happens, I'll let you know, and if not, then I'll just come back and show you at the end of everything how it all went. All right, everyone. So I know I said I'd jump in if something else happened, and while we were getting our new club set up, it looks like Irvad Ibaruk the Melker has been taken by a Fey Mood. So let's go follow him. I just want to make sure that we're not going to have another Dwarven death because someone couldn't get... I don't know. They couldn't get whatever. So, yes, I know the Dwarven caravan's here, but let's see. Right, he's claimed a jeweler's workshop. Let's see if we can get what he needs. Must have rough cut gems. Alright, everyone, serious business. We can't let this happen again. So let's scour everywhere and see if we can get some gems somewhere.
Alright, I know we're supposed to be looking for emergency gems, but let's just see what our guests want.
Alright. Bob, good to meet you again. Alright, it's much to share. Alright, what do we want next year? Again, I never know, just especially because now that we have gold. Yeah, I'm not sure. So I guess we're gonna want rum. We're gonna want yak cheese. Alright, so it looks like they're gonna want ammo. Good to know.
Hopefully we can get some gems soon. I just really don't want to see another dwarf die because they couldn't get some shinies for their pet project. Like, I know it's your life's work, but grow up and adapt, stupid.
Well, let's just stop. whatever you're doing, let's just go and go crazy there. Alright, he's working furiously. Okay. I think that's a good sign. I think that means that we are in the clear. No more dwarven deaths because someone couldn't get a gem or a jewel or something, and they're going to get so depressed that they're just going to die not drinking water. All right, let's trade. So we're going to just trade all this stuff here for some rum, because I mean, we can't. We gave a lot to the human caravan. We don't have a lot of great stuff yet, but all right, so that's going to end that. No more trader needed. All right, so the last thing I want to do for the episode is I want to get that club set up, and especially just because this whole area is a mess. So we will be back once the renovations are done or once another curveball shows up. Alright everyone, and while getting that set up, it looks like he made a very, very fancy bed. Let's take a look at that bed. Alright, it's Nil Among. This is a sardonyx bed. All craft dwarf is of the highest quality. This object menaces with spikes of sardonyx, and it's worth 1,800 dwarf bucks, so pretty nice for a bed. Alright everyone, so it looks like it's time to wrap things up, but just to quickly recap, we did some trading with the homeland, we got our fortress's first artifact, which is a super nice bed. We watched someone die because they got too sad, and we buried them right next to our brand new goth club in a jet coffin, which I feel is very fitting. Also, it is time to just make this general purpose graveyard again. Got the graveyard next to the goth club. Got our super fun dining area set up. This is great. I'm really looking forward to it. But comment down below what you think we should do next. And now let's talk about some behind the scenes things. First off, I'm sorry I was still kind of sick when I recorded all this. I'll try to do the next one when I'm actually healthy. And I just want to come clean about something that some sharp-eared viewers probably already picked up on, but I did go back and re-record some of what I said because I was either coughing through what I was saying or I was just super phlegmy, and I just didn't want to expose you to that. Also, I know in some places I sounded kind of muted, like when I found gold. I know a lot of other YouTubers would have been hooting, hollering, and screaming, but that's because I can basically only record these episodes when my kid's either down for a nap or has gone to bed, so I do apologize about that, but Daddy's got to keep it down. As for Starfinder content, I do have some things in the works. I'm not sure when it'll come out, but don't worry, I haven't given up on it. But that's it for now. Again, like, comment, subscribe.
Swear undying loyalty.
And I'll see you in the next one.
Hey you rascal, thank you for watching the video. Click here to subscribe. Click here to see one of our newer videos. And click here to see something random.
Among Us. Oh.